views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? What's going on? You already know what it is. It's the Evening Rush. Each and every Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Dawn and Rainbow. Whew. If you don't know, yes, I'm under weather, but let me tell you the difference. Because today, this means so much to me, not only because it means a lot to me, but because y'all mean a lot to me. I'm here. I do what I got to do, and I have hustle and bustle, and that's how it got to get done. Rainbow, your mic is on me. So today we got a great show.
I didn't say anything anyway, so it's okay.
Oh, we got a great show for everybody. Also, I want y'all to tune in on the Evening Rush Network app. Make sure you download that app. You can go to the eveningrushnetwork.com. It's a lot to talk right now.
I'm about to say, Don sound like he about to pass out over there. He can't talk. He can't do too much talking today, y'all. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm here, man. Also, definitely call in today. The number is 929-282-0266. So definitely call in, tune in. Like I said, today is going to be a great show.
Today is going to be a heartfelt show. That's what the hell it's going to be.
Very much so. But how was your week, Rainbow?
My week, it was okay. You know, I didn't do much all week. And then I had to go back to work today, y'all. You know, it's Wednesday and it's my first day back to work. And this week, I got to work on Friday, y'all. Do y'all know how distressed I am right now?
Wow, Friday is an amazing day at work. I don't know for some people, but for me,
first of all, what I do for a living, I don't want to work one day. You know what? I'm gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I love what I do. Sometimes it's just the fact of getting up and going and then working for someone else. I think that's what my mindset is like. I don't want to do this for somebody else because I ain't making enough money doing this out here giving out my best work and I'm not getting the best money. That's what it is.
You're giving your best life.
If I be giving my best work. I be out here changing people's lives. They be like, "Oh my God, I feel so good." I be like, "You didn't even know your body could feel like that, right?" I know it, but I'm not getting paid enough. So
what's the point? Well, you can already make a lot of money in a minute. Anyway,
you know, because we about to blow up, and I ain't about to be doing shit. I'm about to be just producing. That's what I'm be doing. I can step my producer game up once we start making money.
I definitely got to shout out Hawaii, Virginia, New York. You know, where else? Oh my God, I had a whole bunch of places wrapped in my mind. The Bahamas, Texas, yo, California, Atlanta. Like, yo, the amount of love we're getting from those places alone.
You know why?
Is like
crazy.
It's crazy. Shout out to Europe. Like Europe, they love us.
Out.
Like I was going through the numbers yesterday, and Europe is like loving us, and I definitely appreciate that love, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, we definitely love y'all too, and we here. This is the reason why we here. You know what I'm saying? To do what we do. My weekend was phenomenal. This is where the craziness goes in because the weekend started off phenomenally. Deontay Wilder back. You know what I'm saying? First round knockout.
Wait, but how long? They saying make a comeback like he been going for that long. Was it like a year?
It was a little younger than a year.
Nah, we had that interview with Classic last year.
Yeah, it was last year that we had that interview. That was getting ready for the third fight.
Was after that.
Yeah, but meaning when after he taking them losses, him coming back was a big thing because he had a lot to prove. You know what I'm saying? And he
And
proved it.
that's why he didn't give up. That's what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah,
everybody making it
definitely.
seem like he was down and out and he wasn't
No,
coming back.
it was the way he was, giving the energy like he was done, like he
Mm.
wasn't gonna come back, like this was it.
I mean,
And
after you lost the day, like when you lose, you like, I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't, I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't want to keep losing. But then the mindset sets in, and you like, nah, I could do this. Like I ain't weak. I ain't.
yeah,
This is not for the weak. If you weak, then you need to
definitely,
get up.
definitely. And
So
Dante, I was proud of him. Like I said, I've always been a big Dante Wilder
you
fan. So
have.
me, what I mean, this was just him coming back. Let's go get that belt back, and that's where we at with it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so me, pops, Uncle, we was all in the crib watching the fight, and it that whole night,
Mm-hmm.
because they was at the Barclays, it was lit over here. You know what I'm saying? And we had a good time. You know what I'm saying? Each one of those fights on that card was amazing, and it was just like, this is what it is. You know, Sunday started a different life for me. Sunday, I went to work, everything was good until it wasn't good. I started feeling weird. I'm like, this ain't me. I
Mm.
went home. It was the allergies at first, and then
Well, that's what
Monday,
usually brings it. That's usually what brings it on. Like the change of season. So
yeah,
then your allergies start to act up. And if you got asthma, if your allergies is acting
yeah,
up, your asthma start acting up too.
and that's just what happened. After I don't know how many years, I had a severe asthma attack,
Mm.
one that put me in the hospital, and it was different. I was different. You know, I'm older now, so having these type of asthma attacks it's not real. It's like,
Your body
goddamn.
said, no, first of all, your body was like, when did we start doing this again?
Yeah, like you waking up and you're like, yo, I can't breathe. What's
Yeah,
really
no.
good?
Mm-mm.
What's really good? And it's
I
like,
be
yo,
panicking because you know what they say, like if you got COVID, sometimes you be having like lung
yeah,
issues, like even afterwards and shit like that. So sometimes I'll be waking up and my chest be feeling tight, and I'll be like, oh my God, here it goes. This is what's gonna take me out. And then 2 seconds, later, my chest don't hurt no more, and I'm like, okay.
yeah. But see, that's the thing, because I was heading in. I was like, yo, I'm gonna still go to work, and then just that drive.
Oh, so you wanted them to call you out and take you you wanted the ambulance to have to come and get you. That's what you wanted. That's
Nah,
what you
just
wanted.
that's what I'm saying. Going in to take that drive to work, I realized, nah, this ain't. It ain't. It's not it. It's not it.
Not even that. Do you still wear a mask at work?
No.
Oh. I was
They
about to
did
say,
the
'cause if you
regular.
were wearing a mask at work, you definitely was. You really wasn't gonna be able to breathe. You'd have been in there
Nah,
like
since remember I told you once I caught COVID, you got that little 6 month gap. I was enjoying that 6 month gap of
they
no mask.
say. I don't know. They say with that what was that the last strain of COVID that people was catching that shit again in like 3 weeks. So
Oh, see, yeah. I thank God I haven't had
that was
that
I
problem.
had that last strain, that one that was easy to catch, that was
Yeah,
easy to catch, and it wasn't really much of nothing, but your ass was you still had it.
but that's the thing. Like, the crazy part about it is my 6 months ends November. So,
And now your body's starting to act up on you.
you know what I'm saying? So I went and got the booster. I had already got the booster already. Like I'm ready. Because I got to do what I got to do. And
Mhm.
yeah, my body hit different. It just, yo, I'm like, yo, I'm getting old. This shit ain't.
This shit's for the birds. I'm over
This
it.
ain't for me.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Yo, let's before we get into trending topics, let's talk about our sponsors. Shout out to the gallery. First of all, Benjamin B&B. Benjamin. We gonna call that man Badman Benny. I'm gonna
Bad
stop all
man
that.
Benny.
Badman Benny said, yo, listen, I'm gonna switch the game up. He put it old school today. And yo, he told me when we first got on the station, he said, yo, don't think I'm only gonna do reggae. And I was like,
I
all
mean,
right.
if he
I
look
mean,
first, he's a DJ, right?
he's a
So
DJ.
I mean, I'm pretty reggae. It's his specialty. That's his
Yeah,
specialty. But as a DJ, you have to be versatile.
yeah.
And
And
it ain't
he
like
switched
he
it up.
ain't been a DJ for. a good minute. So of course we know Batman Benny got he got those skills.
Yeah, so he switched it up, old school mix today, and he did a great job once again. So make sure y'all tune in on Tuesdays. He's on the gallery on CaribbeanPowerJam.com. Whew. Shout out to Industry 21 Mag. You can catch them on I21 Mag on Instagram. My man Dane, he's still doing his thing. Me and him was talking last night. I'm trying to reel him in. It's time, bro. It's time. Come on home.
Just
come to the family, bro. Come to the family. It's time.
I mean, not come to the family. He's already part of the family.
He's part of the family,
just
but
make
you
it.
know.
Just make it over here.
Yeah.
You know what you got to do.
Shout out to Plush Vodka if you want that gluten-free vodka and that nice plum cigar. You already know what to do. Holla at them over at Plush Vodka. Shout out to, of course, the Concern and Solution Network. December 17th is going down in Missouri. We'll be there. We'll definitely be there. The Quasia will performing. Shout out to DJ Sue Young. She will be on deck. So, we're going to have a great night.
I can't wait to be in there live.
Oh, yeah. We're going to shake the ground for real. It's been a minute for Quasia. It's been a minute for Quasia, and she's definitely ready to get on that stage.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Like I said, I tell everybody, like, to me, Quasia sounds good in recording, but to live, I was like, yes, girl, give me those goosebumps.
Yeah, when she hit them high notes, it'd be
give me those goosebumps.
So she definitely will be in the building. Shout out to High Commodity Cosmetics. My girl Chrissy, she's still doing her thing on sex, love, and alcohol. So make sure you tune in, check her out, and support, man. Hit her up, get them cosmetics. It's maybe winter, but you know you still want them dry lips.
Something y'all still going on vacations, yeah. Like y'all ain't hibernating like bears. Winter time is when y'all go to the Caribbean most definitely. Y'all gonna need.
Definitely. You might want to stock up now, because you know.
I mean, it just gotta. It isn't. It's not like she just only has waterproof makeup. She has all types of stuff. So, ladies, eyelashes. On point. The highlighters on point. Y'all like to do y'all makeup? Just go to High Commodities Cosmetics. Period.
Envious Creation. First of all, you see the beautiful Evening Rush Entertainment. Hold on, wrong side.
I'm about to say it's on the other side.
Made by Envy, of course. So shout out to Envy. Also, she just made this banging Hennessy strawberry cake that she had made for one of her clients.
I'm about to say you can't.
I can't even eat
that at all.
Indulge in it, but
none at all.
She really did her thing on it.
You're gonna have to tell her to make another flavor other than strawberry for you.
Yeah,
otherwise,
definitely.
You're gonna be somewhere in a corner, big as hell or dead.
Listen, if the asthma don't get me first, Shout out to Martine Felton. Listen, if you need a tarot card reading, she's got it. She does this thing with the bowl now. On fire. These are readings, like she's on point. I've not seen this woman off, not yet. She's been on point each and every time.
Yeah.
She also got her own podcast, so make sure you check that out.
Right. Even when she does when she does on her podcast, and like you'll call in, or I mean you'll tune in and like you type in and she'll ask you whatever, I guess your sign or whatever she asked you at the time. That should be on point, like nobody's business. I be like, Martine, how the hell you know me like that? You ain't. It's like
and it be giving you the goosebumps because it's like she's hitting stuff. You like, wow.
But it don't even be sometimes specifically for you. Like even if she does your sign, and it'd be like for Taurus, this, that, and the third. I'd be like, all of us going through this shit too. God damn it, crazy. Wow, crazy.
But shout out to Martine. Also, cop them books, man. She got 2 great books out now. I hear she's working on a 3rd, so you know, through the grapevine.
Y'all better watch out. Martine ain't stopping no time soon, so please.
Nah, definitely.
Support,
man. Shout out to Vet Green because she said she on her way in a second. So she's going to be tuning in with us today to talk our talk. So let's get into
Oh
these trending
boy.
topics. We're going to talk about some BS today.
Trending topics, yes. I thought you said now to get into our topic. I'm about to say I'm not
No,
even ready.
trending topics.
I'm not even ready for that yet. Go ahead, trending topics. I'm ready for this bullshit. I'm ready for the bullshit that we about to talk about.
We're going to talk about Colleen Walker. He's 27 years old. He has now been convicted of. Wait, he's getting 50 years in prison
No,
for
wait, no. It
multiple
says
rape.
50 years to life.
Oh, to life in
So
prison.
he has to do 50 years before he is even eligible for parole.
So first of all, if y'all don't know who Colleen Walker is
an actor,
Juju.
rapper.
He is Juju if you watch Superfly, who caused all the problems.
Yeah, Juju
started all the problems.
All the problems. He had on all white. If y'all don't remember who Juju was, it was what is it? What they call the snowman game?
What up, Zach?
What's going on, y'all? I'm so sorry. The show ran over.
Nah, you good. You are good. We doing trending topics right now. Anyway.
Sorry. We ain't started. Yeah, we ain't started that topic yet.
Okay.
We just on trending topics right now, and how this young boy done ruined his whole goddamn life.
What happened? What I missed?
So Colleen Walker, aka Juju from Superfly.
Oh, I saw.
He's been sentenced to 50 years to life prison for multiple rape.
What is it? It's seven counts of rape.
Well, okay.
7 counts of rape, different types of rape. So it was 3
forced.
He had forcibly 2 rapes. Forcibly.
No, you said 3 earlier.
In April, in April, it was 3 counts of forcible rape, 2 counts of statutory rape, 2 counts of rape by intoxication.
Okay.
He was luring the girls in by telling them they were going to be models in his video. So he's hitting them up on IG in that DM. And
he's a rapper.
He would get to the location. And he also said he would introduce you to someone. And then when he got you alone, he insulted you. What I feel bad about in general is what he did. Bro, you are a famous dude. You had a lot going on for you.
Yeah.
You're 27 years old.
All that's irrelevant. All of that is irrelevant. Because it doesn't matter if he was famous or not. There's girls out here giving a coochie up to nobodies for free. You did not have to rape anyone. There was no need to be going out here raping people. Like you forcibly, I can't even say the goddamn word. You forced it on them. Like you was like, give it to me. I don't care. You don't want it. I'm gonna take it anyway.
And my thing is the trust also. Like the women, he lured these women in there and they trusted him. So imagine, what they're going through right now because
they're traumatized.
I mean,
it doesn't even matter if they trusted him. You still traumatized. You got raped.
I want to say this, and this is coming from my heart. I am proud of you women. For one, talking, for saying how you felt, for going to the police, doing what you had to do. I am so proud of y'all.
All of that was from this year?
No, that was from April.
Of this year.
I'm definitely proud of women. And you know what?
So it didn't take them 50 years. It didn't take them 10 years. It didn't take them 5 years to finally say,
no, they went and did what they had to do.
To me. Okay, so they immediately.
And if you was watching Sex, Love, and Alcohol last week, me and Dutch was up there and we were talking about these things. And like this is serious.
It's a very serious.
And even though you're at this type of pedestal, because Mystical is another one. The first time I felt he was innocent. This time, like, how do you get away with something and then you go back and do it again?
That's why they do it. It's because they got away with it. So they like, oh, okay, I got away with it. I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Listen, that's to me, it's the worst thing you can do is violate a woman.
2 of those was statutory, which means he had sex with a minor.
Yeah.
Someone under the age of 17 and a half, because 17 and a half is considered an adult.
18 is now considered an adult, which I think is crazy.
No. It's not 18, it's 17 and a half. So if your birthday was in January, in July, and you turn 17 in July, you consider an adult.
the crazy part about that is I have an 18-year-old son, and I'm going through the most
They are
craziest time with him because he's 18, so there's only but so much I can do. Like, you got me in a box. I don't like being in a box when it comes to my kids. I like to be able to express how I feel, and we work or talk on it, and we try to figure it out. I hate being in a box, and right now I'm in a
what
box.
do you mean?
That parents and adults is different because
Yeah.
you can't tell them what to do, even though you know they're making mistakes. You can't tell them what to do. It's a different, it's a totally different experience when you are parenting little children and then you go to parenting adults because you can't tell them what to do. You know how many
And it,
times I want to tell my kids, you need to be doing this based on our own experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's based on the things we've gone through. You would think that they
you
would
can
learn from us, but
no,
that's not
this
how
is
it
the whole
works.
thing is you cannot teach by example. They have to actually go through the shit themselves and be like, oh yeah, I wouldn't, I should have listened.
Yeah.
You can't tell somebody, oh, this is what happened to me, and this is what they think. Oh, that happened to you, but that won't happen to me.
Yeah.
And
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 going,
it's the way they're
and that's
growing up now
and
is
that's not just adults, like children. Children 18 older. Because even at 18, if my mother told me to do shit at 40, if my mother told me to do something right now, I would do it.
me
yeah,
too.
we know we was raised different. We was raised so
My
different.
mama ain't 50, but
Very.
she'll still beat my
It was
ass
we was
at 40.
raised so different. It's crazy.
It's
You
because you know
know,
what it is? It's because we didn't have the thing is when we grew up, if we got our ass beat, we wasn't calling
no
ACS, we
yeah.
wasn't calling 911. None of that was acceptable to us. If my mother beat my
Well,
ass, my mother beat my ass. That was it.
well, me personally, that didn't affect me because I still beat them up
I mean,
from time to
in
time.
most black
It just has
households,
to happen.
in,
It
in
I
just
most
got
has
black
to
whoopings
happen.
households,
too. So
if you
listen.
call the cops on me and they take you, you're not coming back here. So if you don't want to stay with them, you better mind your business and just take this ass whooping.
Yeah.
Fact.
And going
Listen, if
back to the
you
women also, I
just
want
hold
to
on 1 second. I'm
applaud.
sorry, Vet.
Mhm.
I'm sorry to cut you off. If y'all can, if you're in the chat and on YouTube, we have a poll question up. Do you think women should have counseling after going through a loss?
Hell
Just
yeah.
give us a yes or no. Let us know how you feel. And go ahead, Vet. I'm
Why
sorry
is it
about
just
that.
women? It should be
Yeah.
everybody. It should be anybody that was
I mean,
involved in that.
we gonna get on that. We definitely gonna
Okay.
get on that. But
Yeah.
go
Everybody should
ahead,
get
Vet.
counseling. The mother, the
Yeah, and
father, the
just
sisters,
to,
the brothers.
talking about the women, I appreciate that you acknowledge that it takes a lot for a woman to come forward because I like I talked about on Friday on Sex, Love, and Alcohol with Dutch that when I had gotten raped, it was by somebody that I was dating, and I had said no. And it made me feel horrible afterwards. I remember driving home 2 o'clock in the morning. I lived in Delaware. He lived in Maryland. It was like a 45-minute drive. So I'm driving home and I'm feeling like crap. Now I'm going home and I feel like this man is all over me. So I'm literally trying to scrub him off of me in the shower. So it's a very traumatic experience.
It's
Very, very
crazy because
traumatic.
there are a lot of men out there that think because they are your significant other that having sex with you is something that you must do every time that they want it. And even if you say no and they still take it, it's not considered rape.
And
Yes,
that's
it
right.
is.
That
No
is
Yeah,
means
right.
no, no matter if we're in a relationship. You could be my husband. It doesn't matter. If I said no, no is no. And
Right.
that's rape if you take it.
Yeah, we should be able to sleep in a bed and not have to have sex. I shouldn't be forced to do something that I don't want to do. It
fact.
even to this day it makes no sense. But there are still men out there and women because I know men and women who have
Mm-hmm.
been either sexually molested, sexually abused by men and women. It's a very, very traumatic experience. And then to couple that with was molested as a child. So it kind of plays with your psyche. It really does. And
And
you have to do that inner work, either get counseling, do the self-development, but you definitely have to do that inner work. So I just want to acknowledge anybody who has struggled with any type of sexual abuse to, first thing is to forgive yourself because you did nothing wrong. That was them.
Mm-hmm.
You and
Fact.
you take that victim mentality and turn it into a victory because you can get over it. Even
because
though
it's
they
a
did
survivor
something to
thing.
you.
If now you
Yeah.
survive, you're not a victim,
They
you're a
yeah.
survivor.
Yeah, they do something to they take something from you.
Mm-hmm.
They really do, but you can get it back, and you get it back when you do that inner work, and you decide to not, let them have that power over you. And you
Correct.
do be afraid to, because even now I didn't say anything, and I think, damn, should I have said something? And what's even crazier, before we go to the other topic, when we were going through the courting phase, one of the conversations we had, because you know how you go through the conversations about,
Mm-hmm.
old relationships, he said to me, well, yeah, the one girl I was dating, she claimed that I was, that he had forced himself on her, but it was, and he made up this story, and me, I'm like, okay, not thinking and not really thinking
But
anything
the
of it,
fact
but
that he said that to you,
red flag,
Yeah.
Rainbow, right? Red
it was
flag,
a red flag. But the fact that he felt comfortable in saying it is like, I already know what I'm gonna do to you.
and now in hindsight, I see. In
Yeah.
Yeah, we
hindsight, I
don't
see.
we don't actually be listening. We be listening but not listening.
We
We be
hear
too
what we
busy
want to
looking at
hear.
Yeah.
his face like, oh, he changed.
Okay.
Y'all
Yeah.
better learn them red flags, ladies.
Yeah.
Man, bro.
Look here. I look at this big age. If I don't know what my red flags are, I've got to get something ain't right.
Man, I'm still
Yeah.
learning at 46.
You
I'm like,
still
man,
learn.
I'm getting better though. I bet you
Everybody,
that.
everybody has different red flags. It ain't
Nah.
just
What I
everybody's
tell
red
you?
flag.
Hold up. No. What I tell you? Everybody has a red flag. You just gotta pay attention to it.
No. What I'm trying to
Mm,
say is what you think a red flag for somebody else was, it may not look the same in this particular person. It's still a red flag. You just gotta figure it the fuck
Everybody,
out.
when you deal with your see, we getting off the topic,
the
but
representation. Go
when
ahead
you
and talk
deal with your
about it.
representative, when you deal with someone's representative, they always throw up red flags. Even though they're saying everything you want to hear,
I don't like that. Don't tell me
they,
nothing.
they,
Don't
they're
tell me
telling,
anything
they're
you
still
think.
giving you them red flags.
Don't tell me what you think I want to hear, because I call bullshit. I'll be like, nah, nigga, you lying to me.
No,
You
you
full of
so.
shit.
What did I tell you before? When you get red flags, walk away. Don't
Yep.
don't even waste your time. Don't even keep going. Walk away.
You know
Because
what I'm doing?
once a person show you who they are,
Oh,
that's
believe.
them.
Ooh, I
Believe
just
him.
made a
That's who they
video
are.
about that.
Believe
I
him.
That's
believe
who
them.
they are.
Man,
But
stay
let's let's
tuned. It's
let's
gonna be
keep
on
going on.
my Instagram. I just have to get the background. I just made a video. That's number 2 for me. That's when the person shows you who they are, believe them. Believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get on our next trending topic because we already hit 30 already. That's how real
I'm
today
over
is
this.
about to get. So my man Nori N-O-R-E, he apologized for Kanye West Drink Champs episode.
Why did they air it?
First of all, because, and I get it, Nori believes in freedom of speech, and that's the same thing with me. I
Me
believe in
too.
freedom of speech. These are the platforms that's why we give these platforms.
I
Now,
mean, I guess
Kanye,
I
what
feel like
they
they should have.
didn't say was Kanye said, if you're not going to allow me to say certain things that I want to say, I'm leaving. And that right there should have been the red flag for Nori that he's going to go crazy. But, at the same time, he's like, yo, no, he didn't want it to be a Birdman situation. No, Kanye is his man. Excuse me, Ye is his man because Kanye no longer wants to go by Kanye. He wants to go by Ye.
He doesn't want to go by the name that his mother gave him.
Yes. So, I respect what Nori did, but I respect him more for what he did afterwards, which was apologize for the situation. And, that was the most important thing.
Oh,
So,
well, I just don't get what is going through the mind of Ye to say.
yeah, he's out of control.
You know what though, you guys, I listen to that, and now I'm gonna ask you this, Don, because this is your network, so you are looking at it from the business side, right? But from the music side, and if you really listen to the interview, and I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that Kanye said when it gets into anything about hate, I don't agree with that. But a lot of what he said is true. A lot of what it's just his delivery.
I'm not saying everything that he says is. I'm not saying everything that he says is nonsense. But what I'm trying to say is when he says certain things, which are big things,
you gotta have a filter at some point.
Mm-hmm.
What's good, Mike Murray?
But
You
it's
gotta
not
have a
even about
filter of
having a
things you
filter.
say.
It's about having a heart. You're gonna say that
Right.
that man's death was because of this, but you did you fail to realize that cop
And that leads
had
us
his knee
into
on his
right
neck
now.
for almost 9 minutes? You're gonna say the man died because of fentanyl, and not because he was short, not because he was losing oxygen, because the man had his knee in his neck. You're
And
gonna
that's
say
gonna lead us
this was
into
the reason why he died.
our
That doesn't make
last
any sense.
topic on trending topics. The mother of George Floyd's daughter files a $250 million lawsuit against Ye for harassment,
Defamation.
Defamation.
I
Defamation of
just read this all
character.
to you. Defamation and infliction of emotional distress.
Yes.
And she deserves that lawsuit.
Absolutely.
And I hope she wins.
I'm not. I don't
I
know.
hope she wins. I'm not gonna hold you. I hope she wins. It is, but you know what? He's a billionaire. That's his biggest thing now. I'm a billionaire. I'm the first black billionaire. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Yeah, I know the words,
really?
Benjamin.
Look,
yo,
is he really?
It's crazy because I just read this to Rainbow, and now I can't get the word out.
Right, you did read to me perfectly fine.
So yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope you might as well just give them $250. You're a billionaire. That's nothing to you. You get it back off your Yeezy. Nothing.
Wait. I thought this is my whole thing is with that. Not the whole George and his Yeezys. I thought he was telling everybody not to buy them anymore because he was having a problem with Adidas.
Well, the sneakers he's saying there's a problem with the sneakers or whatever. Which those to me was the best looking ones of all the ones he's ever put out because I think the Yeezys are ugly.
Did you see
all these Yeezys? I think the colors are ugly. I think the outfits are ugly. His whole line is trash. That's just my opinion.
I'm with you, Don. We in the same boat because I don't like none of that shit.
I would never wear anything with Yeezy on it.
I don't know. They say Yeezys are very comfortable. So if it's all for comfortability, I'll get them.
Listen, my Jordan Retros are corny.
I don't want to spend $220
are fire, and they're comfortable as hell.
Who?
My Jordan Retros. They're comfortable as hell.
Oh, I ain't never had a pair. Let me tell you something. I am a Jordan fanatic, right? But I ain't never had one comfortable pair of Jordans, not one.
I'm not a sneaker person, so
definitely get the retros.
Not one.
I mean,
I
come from the era of Timberland season is all season.
Oh, well,
right. You straight New
comfortable
York.
with Dawn because Dawn is used to wearing fucking bricks on his foot. So
I know a lot of men like that. Timberlands all year round.
Yeah. Yeah, so me, Timberlands all day. I could do it. I'm from New York for real. But when I got married, that was the first thing. You gotta get out some sneakers. I mean, them boots and wear a pair of sneakers because there's certain things that boots don't go with. And I was like, I don't understand because everything I wear, boots look fine with me. So I was good.
What you say? You New York for real?
I'm New York for real. So let's go with the topic of the day because we're not even gonna do. We just did the sponsors, and I'm gonna do them again before we close out. And y'all already know if y'all want to get a show on the Evening Rush Network, you know what to do. Hit up eveningrushnetwork.com. Go to the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com, or just call the number on the bottom and holler at me, man. So I'm saving y'all the time.
Don't DM me. Look, don't DM me because I don't know nothing. Okay, just let y'all know.
So we get into topic of the day. It's October, Pregnancy Infant Loss Awareness, Life of a Lost Child. Life after a loss of a child.
You wrote this and don't even know what it says, Don. I need you to get it together, please.
I remember I'm trying to catch my breath as I talk.
Well, then what you need to do is slow down.
Got you. Yes, as y'all all know, I am under the weather. I had a severe asthma attack this week, but I'm here. This is the passion, this is the love I have for not just this network, but for the show, but for you as people.
It was for y'all. It was not for me. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. It was for y'all. It was for y'all.
They got me on a bunch of stuff right now, bro, that is helping, but after a while, the breath is like I gotta take a deep one. for every time I talk.
Dawn
And I
needs
got
a
to get used
rescue
to that because
inhaler.
I'm not used to that. That's the crazy part. I'm used to being able to talk as much as I want to.
It's taking you a while. You
Yeah.
got your pump next to you.
Oh, listen, this is my
Yeah,
new
oh,
travel
good.
kit.
I was about to say he better 1, 2, 3 right now.
during
Yeah.
the sponsors commercial. Take a hit.
Yeah, this is my new travel buddy. We walk around together. I have no problem
What's
with it.
that? Ventolin?
This one is a
No,
butyrol
it's
mixed
not
with
Ventolin.
something
It's
else.
Proventil.
Yeah, I ordered the portable nebulizer. It's actually will be here tomorrow, so I can walk around with the treatment stuff that I need if I need it. So I'm on, bro. You already know.
You can hear it.
All my kids have asthma, so I'm used to this. It's just different when
They got it from you.
at 47 and it hit, and I haven't had an asthma attack or anything in a very long time. So it was like it
It
threw
hit
me off.
different.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm old. You know what I mean?
Benjamin said he was intubated, so he already
Wow.
know.
Yeah. So this really hit different, and it hit me Monday, and it hit me hard. So I thank God for me knowing my body and saying, yo, let me go to the hospital. So, you know what I mean? That was the right decision for me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting on to today's topic.
Life
ladies,
after the loss of a child.
I'm gonna let one of y'all. I'm gonna let Vet go first. Yes, I'm gonna get into my situation and I'm gonna talk about it. Just know, I want everybody to know what's being said right now is real. There's no phony about this. There's no fake about this. This is real. If you can call in, the number is 929-282-0266. You can talk about your story. Tell us how you feel. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to have a one-on-one with my wife. I had to have a one-on-one with my wife to, clarify some things with her to make sure she was
It was
cool
okay
to have these conversations I'm gonna have today.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna let you talk first. Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, most definitely. If you dealt with any type of loss, you go through a grieving process, and going through the loss of a child. I have friends that have carried kids almost to term and had to go through the labor, and that was tough. It was tough for them. You imagine when you are pregnant, you bond with that child. It's almost automatic. As soon as, a lot of women, the nurturing side comes out automatically. As soon as you find out you're pregnant, you're ready to protect that baby. So imagine going through that entire ordeal and thinking in your head and getting prepared. You're getting your mind prepared, you're getting your house prepared, you're getting your life prepared to bring this baby home. And then you go through that process. You have to go through the labor and you don't bring your baby home. It's traumatic. Some women, they have to, have years of counseling, and not to mention, some women may go through postpartum and you do not have your child. So it's definite. I would definitely recommend getting some type of therapy, because you have to keep going on. And for some women, it takes years before they're able to have a baby. I know some women that 15, 20 years it took for them to actually have a full-term birth. And sometimes you have to, go to the doctor, and you have to have this procedure done where they actually put stitches in your uterus. It's truly a process. And I would recommend, seek help. Don't sit in that by yourself, because what happens is, when you are sitting alone, or you feel alone, your mind gets to going through all of these thoughts, and those negative thoughts will have you thinking things that you should not be thinking, because you can get over it. Loss is something that we deal with in our lifetime, but loss of a child is something that nobody ever wants to deal with, but it is something that goes on quite regularly. You'd be surprised how many miscarriages, just the miscarriages. I'm not even saying holding the baby full term. Miscarriages happen, in the first couple of months. That's why when women get pregnant, it happens more often than we think. You
Some
know,
women don't even, because in some cases you don't even know that you're pregnant, because
right,
that's how
Rainbow.
quickly it happens.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things I was going to talk about is that 2 months. The first 2 months are the most dangerous, is what I was told, and plus what I read
Yeah.
Well, the first
today.
trimester in itself
Yeah,
is
first trimester.
the
Thank
first
you.
trimester is definitely
It's
the
the
most.
most dangerous
Mhm.
time when having a baby, and women tend not to want to even tell people that they are pregnant
I
because
Correct.
recommend
they
not.
know it's dangerous.
Most people recommend not to tell anyone because you just don't know, because then you'll get yourself and everyone else's hopes up. And
Yeah. Now, what I went through, the reason why I'm against abortions is because of that simple fact. I've had to have been around women that had multiple abortions, either with my children or because we felt wasn't the right time.
mm,
Um, then finally having my first child that we lost, I lost with one of my children's mother. It was different because she didn't know she was pregnant, and it hit different. I was young, so the loss didn't really hit me as hard because right after that we had my son.
mhm.
Um, if I have 9 kids, so the my 18-year-old son's mother. If you didn't know, TJ is actually a twin.
Mhm.
Um, we lost one of the twins because she didn't know she was pregnant, and we went to the hospital because she was just bleeding. They was about to, they said, oh well, you had a miscarriage. They was about to go in and I think clean her out, if I'm not
To
mistaken.
do the
DNC.
DNC. Mhm.
DNC.
And before they did it, they actually did an ultrasound on her stomach,
Absolutely
and that's
great.
when they saw TJ.
That's a
So,
miracle.
TJ should have been a twin. He'll tell you to this day, my twin died. Because we talked to him about it, and it hurt him. To think that you have a piece of you that's not there, it's
Mhm.
definitely weird. But once again, we didn't even know. You know, fast forward, so me and my wife, we were actually having triplets. We announced, you know, because it was after the first trimester, we announced we were having triplets. We saw the sex. We was having another girl, 2 girls and a boy. We were happy. Things was going good. We went to the hospital on April 1st to do a checkup, and they scanned her. And when they went to scan her,
No heartbeat.
Khaleesi, then no, she had a faded heartbeat at the time.
Mhm.
What they were saying that the fluid wasn't going out of the baby, so she was expanding. Um, and we ended up losing her
Mm.
inside the belly. So we ended up still having Cam and K, which is a blessing. Um,
Absolutely.
At that, to rewind just a little bit, once TJ's mother, she actually lost her. She was losing her life. She actually lost her life during
Mm.
having TJ, and thank God for the doctors because they were prepared. Because she had a pregnancy preview, so they
Placenta.
put placenta
Yeah.
preview,
Mm-hmm.
and they put something in her neck that where they could just feed her blood just in case
Mm.
because it's something with the lining of her stomach. So we almost lost well, we had TJ, but almost lost her.
Mm.
But once again, it's a blessing she made it through. So
And that happens to a lot of black women. Like, a lot of black women die during childbirth because
yeah,
or after childbirth, because they don't take Black women's pain or whatever. Oh, I'm in pain, I'm in pain, I'm in pain. They just think they're just making stuff up.
And see,
So,
this is also the reason why I didn't want to have any more kids after that,
mm,
because I took a lot of that on because
absolutely.
of everything we were going through. It was like, we were butting heads the whole pregnancy. I left the house. I wasn't around her. We were totally off. So, for her to go through that, I felt sorry for her. And, even though that relationship didn't work out, and, now the co-parent situation is still good, but it ain't perfect. It's still better than
There's no
before.
perfect relationship in parenting, even if y'all
That's not
together.
true. That's so not true.
It is.
Nah, you can be perfect co-parents. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, you can't. There aren't. You still gonna have your ups and
I
downs.
say, listen, as long as you be like, yo, take your kids, you pay your child support, or you give that money and you do what you're supposed
So
to do
then
on
y'all
your
are not
end.
like, so y'all don't so they don't really communicate at all. That is not perfect co-parents.
No,
Co-parenting.
we communicate.
I'm
We
not talking about
communicate
you. You
now.
talking about
Oh, okay.
these other people
Oh,
taking
you talking
care,
about other people?
pay your child support. They not really
Yeah,
co-parenting.
yeah, yeah.
They're not talking to each other. They're not really talking to each other the way you
Well,
making it
it
sound.
depends on the age. I always say the age does play a part in it too.
I agree.
Because you can talk to your kid.
Mm-hmm.
The kid delivers the messages most of the
You're
time.
absolutely right.
Even
My
though
mother
that's
and my
not
father,
co-parent.
my mother and my father never used to speak to each other either. She was like, all
Yeah,
right, speak to your father.
yeah, and the same thing. Like, I mean, I think I was there at that point at one time where I was like, I can't deal with you, so let me just, LaShawn, this is what you do.
Yeah.
LaShawn, this is what you explain this to your mother, or I'll write a note and be like, yo, give that to your mother. And but I'm happy like now we're able to communicate, co-parent. It's not a problem. It's not as perfect. We have those days. I'm not gonna agree with everything you say. I'm human. I have my own mind. I think on my own.
Did you guys know that multiple births were like the riskiest? I
Yeah.
have two sets of twins. My
Also,
first
yeah,
set
and
of
I have
twins,
to say,
yeah, I was much younger, and it went pretty smooth. I actually didn't realize I was pregnant with the second daughter until they were born in November. I found out the end of August, so it was that close. I found out, oh, there's another baby.
wow.
What? They didn't
Oh,
see it all that time?
4 sonograms, but they say you can when they
One
are
covers the other.
Mm-hmm.
yep, and that's what was happening, and they were conceived at 2 different times.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that
Mhm.
can happen. That they were conceived at 2 different times. The
Mhm.
second set of twins, Don, I had placenta previa. They
Yeah.
found, and it was exactly like your wife. I had placenta
Not
previa.
my wife. My
Yeah.
my my children's
Okay.
mother.
It was exactly like your
not these
child's
twins.
mom.
The
It
other
was
one.
Yeah.
exactly like your child's mom. I found out because I started bleeding. I was 4 months, and at this time they didn't know that
Mm,
there were twins. I knew that it was twins in there because the pregnancy felt the same. So I went
yeah.
to the doctor. They found out that there were twins in there, and what they told me, and this is it can go either way. What they told me is that with multiple births, sometimes they have this thing called spontaneous abortion, where the
Mm.
other baby is taking most of the nutrients. So baby A would be taking most of the nutrients, and baby B, there wouldn't be sufficient enough. So they just
Yeah.
miscarry themselves. So what I had to do, this was a success story. It's not. I didn't thankfully lose my child. He actually came out, and I tell him this all the time that they said that he wouldn't make it. He ended up coming out 7 pounds 3 ounces. So he came out a whole pound bigger than
Yeah.
his brother.
First of
But
all,
they,
the fact that you had a twin and he was 7 pounds in
oh,
general,
my
that
twins were
was a
big,
big ass
Rainbow.
belly then.
My twins
That,
were big.
Yeah.
oh Lord.
Oh yeah, they were big. They were big kids.
So
Six
you
six
said
twelve,
six,
6'13".
so that means you had two turkeys,
What? Yes.
two turkeys in your belly.
And they
That's
listen, they
and
had to
that
cut me.
yo.
They
It's
had to
it's
cut me.
crazy like how you got a C-section or they cut you down there.
They cut me
It's
C-section.
still a
Oh,
C-section,
okay,
Don.
yeah.
I had a
No,
cesarean, but
no,
You mean, or you talking about did she have to get split?
oh
Because
no.
yeah.
they
There's two
don't cut
different
you.
ones.
Look, they don't cut you. What happens is when the baby comes out, it split, and then they
It's
got to sew
with
you up.
No,
yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it where the baby's head was so wide they had to go and they had to take a scalpel
And
and
cut
cut a little bit
Sometimes
so
they
that
don't
the
even
baby
touch it.
could fully
Sometimes the
awake.
baby head be so big
and
though,
cut
but
them
it
right
just
tear you.
can't cut. It just
Yeah,
tears.
Yeah.
Ow!
yeah.
That just sounds
Yeah, but
painful.
no,
Oh
I
Lord.
had cesareans. I only had one natural birth. I have 6 kids, and I only had one natural birth.
Mm.
Never went in labor. It's never went in labor.
Well, at least look, at least you never went in labor and you had a C-section. My mother was
Exactly.
in labor for 16 hours before they was like, well, you're gonna have to have a C-section. I'd have been pissed the hell off. You mean to tell me that I've been out here trying to push a baby, and you gonna tell me you have to cut me anyway?
That's a
Wow.
whole nother episode, Rainbow. That
Yeah.
happened to me. That's a
I'm
whole
40,
show.
so it wasn't. They didn't have the little cute little bikini cut that they got now. My mother had to get split from navel. All I was like, no, there's no way in hell. Count me
Hmm.
out.
Mm.
Count me out.
That goes to talk. That goes into what you had said about Black women in our healthcare. My oldest
Yeah.
daughter, the same thing happened. I went in. They started inducing me on June 16th. And she went into distress, but prior to her going into distress, I
Yep.
kept telling the doctors that something was wrong with my baby, because when you're pregnant, you get to know the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Babies move at certain times. You get
Mhm.
accustomed to that. She was not moving, and I 17 years old. They didn't take me seriously.
Mm-hmm.
On June 19th, finally, after my blood pressure is up and my baby is in
This is 3 days. Oh hell
three
no.
days, Rainbow. 3 days. They finally decided they had to do an emergency cesarean.
Mm.
Yeah, well, my mother could never. She would have never been able to have me natural if they would have actually did what if they would have knew what the hell they was doing. They would have seen that she would have never been able to have me naturally, and they would have already given her a C-section. But the reason they gave her
Yeah.
a C-section is because my heartbeat started to fade. So
Mm.
they was just like, oh, we got to have her get the goddamn baby out of there. But she would have never been able to have me natural because the way her pelvis is tilted, she could not
Yeah.
have a natural birth.
And see that
So
that's like
I'm
that's
like,
one of the
so
biggest things.
y'all was just gonna let her be in labor all that damn time, just and didn't even know that she would have never been able to actually have this baby naturally.
Same
Like
thing
they
with
would
me.
have never,
So
she
my
would have been,
pelvis is
she probably would
narrow.
have still been in
Yeah.
labor. And to this day, if my heartbeat didn't start to fade,
So
no.
let's get on to life after the loss of a child.
No, Lord Jesus, I don't even want to know. I mean, you
You
know what?
know,
So when I was younger, I had a miscarriage. I didn't. Did I know I was pregnant? I don't remember. It was a long time ago, very, very long time ago. But I feel like I had to know, right? But I had a miscarriage, and when you passing, I swear to God, it had to be like as big as a baseball.
it's a
So
blood clot. It's
it was a clot. That was my child.
clot. Yeah.
No, it was my child.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. So I'm just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and didn't know what the hell was going on with me. I wasn't home. I was in Virginia by myself at my friend's college. I was like, what is going on with me? I came home. I told my mother. My mother was like, oh hell, what we gonna do now? She took me to the doctor. The doctor finally was like, oh well, you had a miscarriage. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like, what do I do? What is the procedure now? What do I do? So and I didn't know it was happening, but it took a toll on me.
Mm.
So not I don't even know. Like I was pregnant, didn't know I was pregnant, lost my child, didn't know that I lost my child, and then didn't find out that I lost my child until like a week later.
Mentally, that was draining, wasn't it?
Very.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what was wrong with me first. First of all, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I have my period, but it was just like excessive blood. And then I wasn't home, and I was only like 19.
So that's
So
even
I
more
And
really
draining.
going
didn't know
through
what
it by
I
yourself.
really didn't know what the hell was going on. And then I'm calling my mother, and she's like, well, what do you want to do? Now I have to take the bus all the way from Virginia to New York. And I got to explain this to her again. And I'm like, I got to explain it to the doctor. I'm just tired of explaining myself. That was what really, because it's like heartbreaking. Because after the doctor told me, oh, well, you had a miscarriage, I was like, what? The life after losing a child, I don't know what it is to feel after like having a full term child, but after having a miscarriage, it was like it was very traumatic for me.
Traumatic. Yeah.
Very traumatic.
Did you go to counseling, Rainbow?
I didn't go to counseling. At 19, I didn't know any better.
And at that time, it wasn't talked about a lot either.
Really wasn't talked about. That was what, 21 years ago. Nobody was talking about counseling. We wasn't white. Black people didn't talk about counseling.
But that's the bad thing, that you shouldn't have to feel because you're not white.
No, but what I'm trying to say, black
Caucasian,
people,
that you have to
Caucasian
to go to
Stop trying to be
counseling.
politically correct. White, black. I'm black. And 21 years ago, black people wasn't talking about, oh, let's have therapy.
African American.
I'm not African American because I ain't never been to Africa, and I don't even know if that's where my people is actually from. So I could be supposed to be Spanish. Who knows, Dawn? Don't tell me that I'm African American.
Well, with me, the experiences was different. The first time, like your age, we were young, so we didn't, we went through it. The second time, me and her started blaming each other. It was the blame game. I blamed her because the night before she got pissy drunk, and that's the reason why I felt it happened. Her, she believed it was stress, and I stressed her out, and that was the reason why it happened. So, it became a blame game, and we never really talked about it after that. So TJ is here, so that was my main concern. I was just like focused on TJ.
Yeah.
Now
because that's how it happened. It was nobody.
Yeah,
it's nobody's
fault. At that
fault.
point, it's just you have to just thank God for TJ being able to be here.
Yeah. Right before I found out, right before I started bleeding, I was arguing with my then husband. We had a huge argument, and I remember I was at work, went into the bathroom, and I blamed him. I'm like, you stressing me out. That's why I'm bleeding. But in hindsight, you realize that certain things happen because certain things happen.
God's plan.
It's God's plan. It is God's plan. But because, if she didn't start bleeding, y'all wouldn't even knew that she was pregnant, and God
I wasn't there,
didn't need, huh?
I wasn't there.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if she didn't,
I just got a phone call. She's bleeding. We have to go to the hospital.
But what I'm trying to say is, if that wouldn't have happened, you probably wouldn't even had TJ. So it's God's planning that happened for a reason.
Definitely. Now with Khaleesi, it was a little bit different. It hit different. We knew the sex. We was preparing for 3.
Yeah.
We down to 2, and I think I mentally went into a different type of space. I pushed myself into work. I ignored everything else. I ignored her. I ignored our children. I just went into a whole different headspace. Like I felt work was my most important thing. You know what I'm saying?
Was the only thing that was going to keep him sane.
It was your escape.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to talk. There was nothing.
And I'm sure going home, it was just like a huge dark cloud because your wife was going through it.
Yeah. She was. And the bad part is she went through postpartum depression. So she was going through postpartum depression. I wasn't there. She was in her own headspace. I was in my own headspace, and we weren't talking. It was my weekends was I'm out partying. I'm not home. I'm not there. And I should have been there. But everything else was more important. I'd rather be outside. I'd rather
you didn't want to talk about it. You didn't want to face it.
I didn't want to deal with it.
You didn't want to deal with it. And I'm not, you were absolutely wrong for what you did, but I can see why you did what you did.
I tatted her on my hand, and that was it. Like, that's my connection to Khaleesi. That's my connection to her. She's on me for life, and that's all I think about whenever I move. But that's my daughter. I lost her. But I never sat down with my wife and had a conversation about how she felt.
Never?
Never. Not even to this day. We we talked. We went to counseling and we had to bring it up, but it was like we gave vague answers. We didn't really address how each other feel, and that's the only reason why I knew she had postpartum. That was the only reason why I knew she was, she felt ignored, she felt alone, was because we talked about it in counseling. You know, if we didn't, if we didn't have those conversations,
well, I can see why you didn't want to. Neither one of you wanted to have to relive it. Like when people think when you talk about it, it's like it's reliving the situation. It's reliving the heartache, the pain. It's reliving it. No one ever wants to do that.
But to get through it, you gotta get to it.
But that is sometimes the only way you're gonna get through it. You gotta go. The only way you're gonna make it through is you gotta actually go through it to make it to the other side, which is the good side.
It depends. Like I don't know how to say if I'm saying this right. I don't think you ever get over it.
Never, ever.
It's hard to get over
it.
But heal from it.
When you look at your children, especially because we had multiple. So when I look at Cam and Kay, and I'm like, one of y'all are missing, and then I wonder if she have been like the same sassiness as Kay, or how would she been? She's a Leo too, so it was like, okay, it's another Leo in my life.
It's never gonna you're never going to get over it, but it will be easier to deal with. If you get what I'm saying. It's never gonna be like, oh my God, I didn't know.
No, I mean, listen, it's been 6 years, and trying to move forward is I moved forward, but there's days that it cross your mind.
Absolutely.
April 1st, it's in my head.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot to deal with mentally. Counseling did help a lot. But it's still there's no.
Maybe you need to go to counseling by yourself, not just couples counseling. Maybe you need to go to counseling for yourself.
No, I've been to counseling for myself, but I have more. We all know I have more issues going on in my life.
So that
we all do, Don. We all
talk about that when I went to counseling. Because I
had
other shit on there.
Like when I did the single counseling, it was more. We was going back from childhood, and like everything was just.
Yeah, Dawn Dawn didn't realize he was molested until he went to counseling, even though I had told him already.
A lot of men
get to here is like, well, and I explained to you about that. Even with that situation, it was when you're a man, you don't feel that way.
I told him that women molested him. He was like, no. I said yes.
I know men who were molested at 9 years old by a grown woman, and to this day he does not think that it was molestation. And it's like, sometimes a lot of times
he still molested you.
You are hypersexualized because of that. Like that.
But this is the whole thing: is it didn't feel like that to you, but in her head, she was molesting a minor. She knew what she was doing. I mean, y'all was both minors, but she was older than you, and she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, but once again, this is where.
And this is because I didn't have a PhD behind my name. It didn't.
We had to, it was something that had to be talked about, and it also expressed the reasons or the feelings I was going through, the things that I was going through, the way I treated women, to everything. It just came out like that. That was the way everything came out. So pretty much, like I said, I have a lot of baggage, but
you wanna pay me next time?
I cleared up a lot of the baggage. Yeah, majority of the baggage is cleared up.
I'm not holding all of those raggedy bags. I'm not holding as many of the raggedy bags.
and it made me a stronger man. I will not hold you. It made me a stronger man. It made me a better father, a better husband.
Absolutely. I'm glad.
Definitely. You know what I mean? It taught me a lot of things.
I think I should have been a psychologist.
You still can.
It's not gonna happen, Vet, because I'm not going back to school for anything else. It is over. It is a wrap. Never. I'm not gonna have
She
no
said,
more.
I got too many degrees.
I ain't gonna have no more student loans. These niggas is already. They already probably looking for me. Like, when we gonna get our money? You in deferment because I ain't got no money, so you can get what I ain't got.
So before we get out of here, I just want to say to anyone who's lost a child, who went through
Keep your head up.
stillbirths. I know it's a lot to deal with, and especially when you have other kids, please go get counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of I'm sorry, I was so tied up today. There's a lot of places that you can actually go to if you Google it. There's a lot of numbers
I'm about
there.
to say, just put it up later. You could just put it
in
the
I
comments
can put
later.
it up in the comments later.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of places you can go to, and they will help you. You know, so don't think that nobody's going through what you've gone through. Don't think nobody's, not hearing you.
Absolutely. Most people's insurances pay for those type of visits too. Like, if you need to go see a therapist, they pay. Most people's insurance pays for that. So
if you have
absolutely,
Medicaid, it definitely takes it.
Every
insurance,
insurance pays for therapy, right? You just got to find a therapist that's in your network. That's all. Insurance, they pay for it, but people just don't take them up on it.
Well, a lot of people, like you said, a lot of African Americans do not want to go to counseling.
You gonna stop calling us African Americans, Don? I done told you. We don't know if we from Africa. I'm gonna take.
They do not.
I'm just gonna
Listen,
take
my Ancestry.com said a lot to me, so I'm kind of good with it.
I know. I did the what is it?
I'm gonna need to do my 23andMe.
Yeah.
It's gonna tell me It's probably gonna tell me like I'm 5% black.
No.
Nigerian.
5%
I'm Nigerian.
From Nigeria.
Yes.
I'm Nigerian.
So
that's where my family comes from.
So I'm probably more I'm probably Italian. I know I'm Italian.
I'm Irish, definitely.
I'm probably from Sicily. And this is why this color.
0.5%, I think, for me.
Yeah.
No, my grandfather was half Italian.
I just want women to understand.
Get counseling.
Even though you're going through it, don't think that your spouse is not going through it.
And just think because you're going through it. Don't ignore your spouse. Don't ignore your spouse. Not your spouse, because we're not always going to say that these people are always married.
Yeah, that's true.
Your significant other. If you are with someone and the both of y'all experience this traumatic experience together, y'all need to take care of each other because the both of y'all are going through it. We're not going to say one may be worse than the other, because we don't know how because there's no way to tell how someone's going to react to a certain situation.
I'll be honest. No, I'm going to be on the record saying that I think more women.
I believe it's harder on the woman because they're the one carrying the child. So of course,
the bond is established.
But you can't tell someone else how to feel. So even though the mother may be in pain, the father lost the child as well. They did not carry the child, but sometimes fathers are very attached to their children.
Mm-hmm.
So that bond, maybe they speak to that child every night, watch them kick, he'll feel the baby, sing them songs, read them books, this, that, and the third. So you have to take that into consideration as well, because that bond, they were building a bond as well with their child, and they also lost as well as the mother. So everyone needs to go to counseling, and everyone needs to help out in that situation. Like, don't, I'm going through it, so I can't help you. I get that, but you still have to. You are a unit, and y'all need to
definitely don't make the mistake I made.
Don't make the mistake Dawn made. Please. Please, no one make that mistake.
Because that was definitely a lie. I'm reading the poll.
That puts a strain on your relationship as well.
We got 100% on yes, you should go to counseling. So it's not just us that agree. If people in there that agree as well, you definitely need to go to counseling after these, this law.
Yeah, and don't try and deal with it alone. Don't try. Well, when we get, one of the verses, and I don't know the Bible or anything like that, but
Ex
What
Dawn.
is it that they say? The devil's playground. When you're alone, that
Yeah.
sometimes being alone, that just opens up the door for the enemy to place thoughts in your head.
Yeah, because when you
It's
start
Yeah.
to internalize that, and then you start to make yourself seem like you are a bad person, and then you might start having suicidal thoughts. It's
yeah,
a lot of things that if you try to go through a traumatic experience like something as traumatic as this by yourself, that could happen.
yeah.
And not to make light of the other situation. The young lady that was in Coney Island that killed her kids. I still to this day believe she went through postpartum
I
depression.
do. She
Absolutely,
had
Don.
a 3 month.
And
She had a 3 month old.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
I
and
that whole situation just is just
it's very
it's
traumatic.
very traumatic, but it's just very weird to me because someone in her family, clearly you knew something was wrong with her. You called the cops and said, I think the children are in danger. The baby's
Yeah.
father was at home when the cops got to the house. He says she's on the boardwalk with the kids.
Mm.
All of this sounds fishy to me. Like, so y'all all know she needed help, but no one was there to help her.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this is why I tell y'all, don't ignore these women. I know it's a lot
And learn
to
the
deal with.
signs. Learn
Yeah.
the
Why?
signs you have to
Well,
help.
it's not. It's also not easy to learn the signs. Now I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Even though I kept myself busy, I didn't know. One, I didn't know nothing about postpartum depression at that time.
It wasn't talked about.
And yo, I appreciate. Excuse me. I appreciate Tone and Martine because they talked to me about it.
Mm.
And if it wasn't for them, I would have knew nothing about it. And then I Googled it and I did my research. I didn't know she was going through postpartum depression. I didn't know, and it was more on her about it because she had twins. That's a lot to endure. And
She
then to
was
endure
dealing
it
with
by
the
yourself.
postpartum, the
She was
loss,
already dealing.
her
She was already. She no.
hormones
She was
was all
already
over the
depressed
place.
beforehand because she had already lost a child. Then she
Yeah.
gives birth to her children. Then she's already. Then she's depressed beforehand. So all the hormones is already doing what it's supposed to do. And then after the children's born, she has the hormones. She has the postpartum. She's just really going through it. She was going through it since before her children were actually born.
Yeah. And when one of the things that happens when you are pregnant is that your hormones are all over the place. When you add multiples to that, it increases what your body is doing because your body is preparing for these babies to
Mm-hmm.
get bigger, to grow. So your body is going through all of these changes. And then when you have the kids, your body is going through it takes about a year for your body to and your emotions to actually get back
Mm-hmm.
to that
Sometimes, and
normal
that's
place.
actually
I was about to
sometimes.
say, what is normal?
That's what I was
That's
thinking, Don.
sometimes.
That's why I paused for a second because
Yeah.
I don't feel like I ever really went back to the place I was at
You're not,
16
you're
and
not.
pregnant.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Nope.
like
Mm-mm.
my body, my emotions, everything.
As you age,
Yeah.
It's
and the older you
The
are
older
when you
you
have the
are.
kids, the worse it is.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
because and listen, I was teenage. You guys all know I was a teenage mom. I had 16, and again at 18, I was pregnant. I had my kids at 17 and 19. That pregnancy, and I do not listen. This is not a promotion for teenage pregnancy, so don't get it twisted. But there was a huge difference in the pregnancy that I had when I was younger and the pregnancy that I had when I was a little bit older, which was my twin boys, the ones that just turned 19. So it was a huge difference because our bodies change a
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
lot, a lot. And
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 then
then you get
we're going
some,
through our own mental stress. You're
yeah,
going
and
through
then you
your
have
own
some
mental stress.
women too who waited, and it's okay to wait. You have some women who waited to have kids and it didn't work out right as
I ain't
well.
waiting. I ain't
Mm.
waiting. I just think God is like, maybe,
Not yet.
maybe she should just travel the world. That's what I'm thinking. This is God saying for me.
Yeah. And women don't give up if you have no, because I know, like I said, I know women who had had miscarriages, stillborns, and 15 years later, here they are with a baby. 20 years
But not
later, here
even
Listen,
they are
that,
with the
like
baby.
just in general.
I'm
Like
out. Flag on the play because yeah, I just had my last two because yeah, I'm calling them my last two, and yeah, I'm good. I'm too old to be having kids. It won't happen again.
but as
I'm
for
straight.
for even women who to have their first children, like look at Eve. She was 42 before she had her first child, right? And all that goes back to she first of all, she is she's an entertainer, right? She has money. She just realized that she realized she went to a specific doctor and the doctor told her, oh, you would have never been able to have kids because you have fibroids and we have to get rid of those. You have this, we have to get rid of those, or you're never going to be able to get pregnant.
That's a whole
And
nother
that's
thing.
crazy.
I was just thinking that we need to do a show on
whole
that.
nother
It's crazy because do you know how many times she went to a fertility clinic? And that is something that they should do at a fertility clinic. You're supposed to tell me if I'm able to have a baby. So you do all these tests and everything to know if I'm even going to be able to have a child.
Fibroids is not a game.
Fibroids,
especially with Black women.
PCOS.
Yes. With African American women.
African American women.
We're not African Americans. Damn it, we're Black. Just call us Black. Damn it.
You know.
Better be called Black than African American.
But it's a serious thing. Please, women, if you have fibroids, get checked out. I have
fibroids, everything, endometriosis, all of that.
I have a friend who, because she wanted a baby, she said, look, y'all gonna take these fibroids out and not take my uterus. And then I've had, my oldest son's mother, I'm sorry to be telling your business if you're watching. She had fibroids and she had to take out her fibroids and she ended up having to have an hysterectomy. Yeah, she can't have many kids. So ladies,
it's weird, yeah. It's
get those fibroids checked out. I don't know. And, I have another friend who has fibroids, and we fight over this all the time.
But did they say why it's so high in the Black community? What do they feed
That's
her?
the thing.
No.
That's why we should really do a show on that, because the numbers are crazy. It's like 30%. How many African American?
It's actually more than that, I think.
I think so too, because I've had them.
It's very high.
I have a daughter that has them. How many African American women do you know that have it? Don, you just spoke about what, 3?
3 that I know a couple more.
I know a lot of people with
fibroids. TK said they say using chemicals like perm.
That's why.
Fibroids.
But wait a minute, wait, come out. White women get perms. We get relaxers. So
listen, TK, when we have this show about fibroids, definitely you pulling up. Because I'd rather be outnumbered by a bunch of women that know what they're talking about. I'm gonna still do my homework, but still.
Yeah, because because there are chemicals and everything that, like, not just in a relaxer. Because you think it also because we don't use the area like doing hula hoops when we're kids. What?
I also know the fibroids also because they with the bleeding, when y'all bleed, it's a lot more dangerous.
When you have your period, your menses, your menstruals, you bleed very heavily.
You're draining like a lot of blood out.
Yeah.
So one of my friends, that's one of the biggest issues. Like, she has low gluba something or other, and that's because of the fact that she has big fibroids.
Well, not now, but I used to hula hoop. Well, my sister just bought a hula hoop. I could hula hoop, but when we were kids, we hula hooped a lot.
That's how y'all learn to work them hips.
It's a possibility.
Vet, how you going out, Vet?
I'm going out like this. Ladies and gentlemen, just know that sitting alone in that grief that you're going through is never a good idea. It just leads to other things. That the idle, what do they say? That idle time is the devil's playground. It's all right to not be okay, and it is okay to seek help. You may not get the help that you need from the people around you, and there's resources out there. Don't just sit in your misery. Please don't just sit in your misery. Please, God, don't just sit in your misery. Get the help that you need. And if you can't get it, if you want a baby and it's not happening the way you thought it would happen, there's also other options out there. There's a lot of kids out there that need homes,
Mm-hmm.
and I know it's expensive, but there are some insurances that pay for in vitro, and take your time at
A
it.
lot of insurances pay for in vitro
Pay
because
for
they
it
know that
now.
it's for some strange reason. It is very hard for women to get pregnant nowadays. I don't know what they feeding us.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
hell.
So take care of you. That's what I'm
No,
leaving
they
out.
doing
Rainbow,
us.
how you going out?
I just want to say that, like Vet said, never, please don't sit in your misery. If you do have an issue with anything, it does whatever it is, please seek help. Let someone who has a what is it, unbiased opinion, right? That's what it is, unbiased, because they said
Yeah.
Unbiased.
unbiased. Yeah,
Mhm.
has an unbiased opinion about your situation, talk to you, because when we out here talking to our friends, they have a biased judgment.
Opinion. Yeah,
Their
they have a bias
opinion is
too.
biased because they know you.
Mm-hmm.
They, they may not steer you the right way. I'm not saying that everybody's friends are not going to steer them the right way, because I'd still steer you the right way, because I ain't judging nobody. But please get help. Please seek help. You hear that, Dawn? I always give you a very unbiased opinion.
No, yes. Listen. I appreciate you because you know, all the friends I have. Pardon me, because y'all know y'all friends, y'all family.
Yeah, because
Certain
I'm
ones
going to
you
tell Dawn if he wrong.
um, I listen. Y'all might not think I listen. But I take opinions and I put them all together to get my own synopsis of what I think is the right decision to always make. Whether I'm right or wrong, sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong.
Dawn be wrong.
But no, no. But sometimes you gotta have that extra, that angel on either shoulder to tell
Mhm.
you, yo, listen, this is
Is it because you might have more of a half angel, half devil on your shoulders. So I don't know.
I don't know. I think I got all the angels.
You have
Yeah, yeah.
Lucifer on this one, and then you have
Nah, nah, nah. I stay devil free, man. But
You
I'm
guys,
going out with basically saying, yo, I thank everybody for tuning in. Once
absolutely.
again, let me shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Gallery each and every Tuesday, CaribbeanPowerJam.com, Industry 21 Magazine, Plush Vodka, A Cause of Concern and Solution Network. Don't forget, Amazon, December 17th is going down.
Amen.
Um, High Commodity Cosmetics. Um, Sorry, guys.
You want me to?
Envious
I'm
Creations.
about to say, you want me to finish up?
No, I'm good. Envious Creations and Martine Felton. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all catch us on IG. It's I gotta change that. I keep forgetting.
It's Rush Wednesday.
Instagram, Rush Wednesdays podcast. The Evening Rush, you could catch me on all my Instagrams, and the network Instagram. You could catch Rainbow at the Only Rainbow and at One by Rainbow if you want to get a massage, which is definitely that time. So we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Download the app. Make sure y'all enjoy all the shows. The industry is up next with Mila. And I just want to say, sleep in peace, Khaleesi, Miracle. I love you. And, that ain't never gonna change. You always on Daddy's
Absolutely.
mind. And shout out to my boy Fresh. Miss you, bro. I was just going over your burial rod, and it just I had a lot going on. But I definitely miss you, bro. Like
Absolutely.
always, man. So, we out of here. I'll at y'all later.
My nephew told me I'm a king and that crown fitted. You can catch me in the